I clearly see the same formula which is written in the Communist Manifest from 200 and some decades years ago. To create a new world, you need to dismantle a nation, family, private property, private schools, religion. And this is going on now. This is cultural Marxism.
During the Europe Uncensored online conference, Slovenian Prime Minister Janez Janša stressed that one of the gravest dangers that Europe faces is cultural Marxism. But what is cultural Marxism in reality?
The First World War did not bring about the realization of the Marxist dream of the global working class joining forces and launching the revolution of the proletariat. As a result, leftist sociologists gradually stripped Marxism of its economic component and replaced it with theories taken from sociology and psychology. Thus, critical theory, also known as cultural Marxism, was created.
Thus, Western communists wished to achieve the revolution by other means. Instead of economic issues, they made cultural factors the centerpiece of their ideology. This is how they framed their struggle directed at dismantling traditional Western society and changing culture itself.
According to a prominent cultural Marxist, Max Horkheimer, the traditional concept of family must be deconstructed. Sexual norms, morality, Christian foundations, conservatism, and patriotism must all be abolished. And he was not alone in thinking this. Albert Marcuse's theory served as intellectual support for the 1968 student riots and the American cultural counter-revolution. He created the concept of the Great Refusal, which calls for the destruction of every traditional value.
As Western communists do not believe that they would succeed in a violent attempt to overthrow traditional Western societies, they advocate for subverting them through the patient application of ideological indoctrination and the undermining of social institutions. They hope to achieve this through the occupation of universities, dominating cultural life, the creation of political networks based on quasi-NGOs, and identity politics wrapped in the guise of social justice.
The first proponent of this approach was Antonio Gramsci, an Italian communist philosopher and a student of Marx, a figure much revered by the leftists of the world. The Marxist student movements of the 1960s and 70s were real-life applications of this cultural struggle.
Multiculturalism, progressivism, radical feminism, gender ideology, political correctness, identity politics, LGBTQ, the struggle against exclusion, and the ideology of open society. Just a few ideas that the left and the West has been promoting for decades in order to destroy traditional society.
One finds these ideas behind the tensions and the wave of violence generated by the far left in the world today. Their aim is to carve society up into the oppressors and the oppressed along the lines of group identities based on race, sex, status, or other attributes, artificially created factors or grievances. The pictures of violence from around the world speak for themselves. People and communities that had peacefully coexisted for decades are suddenly at each other's throats, are arming themselves to the teeth, and entire city blocks are in flames.
Cultural Marxists have infested the entire society. They are present in the media, in Hollywood, in the universities, in economic, cultural, and political life. The violence seen in the world today clearly indicates that danger surrounds us, and the cultural Marxists will not eschew violence when it comes to realizing their political goals. This is the danger that the Prime Minister of Slovenia referred to, and this is the process Central Europe must resist at all cost, because we want to build our Central European societies on national identity, families, and Christian heritage, not gender ideology or open society. In the new order, socialism will triumph by first capturing culture via infiltration of schools, universities, churches, and the media, by transforming the consciousness of society.